Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's pre recorded webinar session on PCOS and diabetes, where nutrition makes a difference. My name is Charity Onyonyi. I'm the founder of the Diabetic Desk, and I'll be walking you through this important conversation as part of PCOS Awareness Month, which is September, and also a pre-recorded session at every 2 weeks on my diabetic desk series. So feel free, stay at home if you want to work with me. I'll leave the number in the description of this video on the email. You can reach me. Let's collaborate and just create awareness around diabetes and diabetes related issue. So why does this topic matter? PCOS is often thought as only in terms of the reproductive lens, and that I can attest to, in terms of irregular periods, fertility challenges, and symptoms like acne or having excessive facial hair or body hair. But the truth is, PCOS is a metabolic condition. Just go look at all the metabolic conditions, and you'll find PCOS being among them. Insulin resistance plays a central role in both PCOS and type 2 diabetes. If we only look at PCOS through a reproductive lens, I feel like we are missing an important opportunity to prevent long-term risks such as type 2 diabetes and in terms cardiovascular diseases. Thus is why nutrition professionals, educators such as me, and healthcare providers who are in contact with women of reproductive health need to connect the dots. And that is where and what I want to do on this particular session. So we're going to look at the global, before we even dive deep into the topic at hand, we're going to look at the global and the local statistics. So PCOS affects around 8 to 13% of women, that is nearly 1 to 10 women of reproductive age, and about 70% of women with PCOS have insulin resistant, regardless of the body size, because most of us just think insulin resistance occur with people with big bodies or overweight or obesity, but it can occur in women, especially our reproductive age, regardless of their body type. That means even women who appear lean can be affected, and studies have shown that women with PCOS are 4 to 7 times more likely to develop type 2 diabetes compared to those without PCOS. And I've said more likely, like they're at a higher chance of getting type 2 diabetes in the near future. And in the sub Saharan African, research is quite limited. As I was coming up with this session, I really struggled to find data on PCOS in the African context. But we know that the rapid lifestyle changes in the urban area, especially, are increasing, and the prevalence is also increasing. Locally, PCOS is often underdiagnosed, and that I can attest to, which means burden could be even higher than we realize. If it doesn't really affect someone directly, people don't really give a thought to it. So now we're going to look at the relationship between PCOS and diabetes and some of the pathways. I'll try my best to explain it so that we can be able to understand each other. So how do PCOS and diabetes connect? So at the center is insulin resistance. Just draw that mental picture. When the body doesn't respond well to insulin, the pancreas produces more of it so that it can meet the demand of the increased blood sugars. This is called hyperinsulinemia. Wow, 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 wow. That bolded word there. High insulin level then stimulate the ovaries to produce more androgens or male hormones, which causes symptoms like irregular cycle, acne, and excessive hair. And at the same time, insulin resistance increase the chances of pre-diabetes and later on diabetes. So PCOS is really a dual condition. It affects both the reproductive and the metabolic health. And unless we address the insulin resistant, we can't fully manage either of them. And like I've said, the takeaway from this slide is insulin resistant is the center of the dot that connects both PCOS and diabetes. So we're going to look at the lifestyle foundations and I've classified them according to some of the pillars that play a direct role in managing PCOS. And that is one is nutrition. and that is why the topic is nutrition makes a difference. Low glycemic diet help slow down glucose absorption and reduce insulin spikes after meal. And pairing carbs and proteins and fiber is another simple but powerful strategies to stabilize your blood sugars. The Mediterranean diet, I know you've come across this, is full of olive oil, vegetables, legumes, and fats. I mean fish, yes, and has shown, and there's a lot of research, just go read on Mediterranean diet, that shows it improves insulin sensitivity and reduces inflammation. We also encourage to consume anti-inflammatory foods like colorful fruits and vegetables. We like to call them the rainbow vegetables, and food rich in omega-3, which help lower the oxidative stress. But the most important part is personalization. That's why I've bolded that. There is no one size fit for all diet, and I'm so happy that even around this sub-Saharan area, we are starting to move to a personalized nutrition care and not just a blanket care. And I feel like it has to be sustainable for each individual, because we are still in a developing country. You might tell someone to buy all this food and they cannot afford, so you have to customize and personalize that care to meet the social economic demands and characteristics of the person. Yes. So another lifestyle foundation we're going to look into is exercise. And exercise is just as critical in managing PCOS. Aerobic activity improve insulin sensitivity and reduces the fasting insulin. If you've been following me across my social media platform, I give you diagnostic test to see if you have insulin resistant or not. Resistant training, and the more I've listened in on people talking about PCOS hormone balance, there's a lot of talk about around resistant training like weightlifting, using resistant bands, build muscle that help the body use glucose more effectively. And that is what I've been trying to do. Research shows that exercise can even lower androgen levels and improve menstrual regularity, especially in women above 30. I've said especially that is according to my own experience, but you've seen according to the statistics which age group is mostly affected. Research shows that exercise can even, that one I've already talked about. Vigorous aerobic exercises, when appropriate, provide strong benefits, but even moderate activity like brisk walking, that's why you're told to really walk after meals or incorporate walking as part of your physical activity, makes a difference. And importantly, these benefits are seen across all body sizes, not just in women who are overweight and obesity. And I want to debunk that common myth. So we're going to look at diet, just beyond diet alone, because I've said nutrition is a central part, but there are also other key factors that can help manage PCOS. And this is to bring us a key message, benefits that go beyond weight, because I know most of people who are going through PCOS are told to lose weight. But research shows that lifestyle changes improve ovulation, your cycle, your insulin sensitivity, even without weight changes. Lean women with PCOS can still have insulin resistance. Keep that in mind. So dismissing them because they are not overweight is often harmful. Very, very, very harmful. You need to do proper and thorough assessment, and you need to listen to the woman who is telling you they're experiencing these signs and symptoms. That's why this month curated to creating awareness around this particular condition, because I feel like it's not really highlighted. We need to emphasize improvement in energy, glucose level, and menstrual function, all of which can happen before the scale moves. Because most of us, when we start our weight loss journey, we usually focus on the number on the scale, and if it doesn't move or it goes high, we end up losing hope and not really following through what you're supposed to do. So we're going to look at beyond that alone, we're going to look at the language and stigma, because language really matters. Weight stigma discourages many women with PCOS from seeking care. Instead of focusing only on numbers, on the scale, let us set function based goals. Look at improving their cycles, improving lab values in terms of the fasting insulin or the fasting blood glucose, the HbA1c, any other tests that were done, and look at the energy level of the person or the woman you're managing, or the woman has come to you to seek help, or even your own energy if you're here and you're listening to me. Using motivational interview, and is asking about barriers, also exploring readiness. And this is very, very important because most of us really don't like talking about us having PCOS, and we see it as a bad thing, and we end up not, we just suffer silently. Yes. So this helps build trust, and shared decision making ensures that the plan will fit both um, your lifestyle as the person seeking help or managing PCOS, and me, the person giving the advice to manage PCOS. And above all, celebrate small wins. Like if you have improved sleep, it interferes with your sleep too. And if you don't sleep well, I think I'll talk about this later, can also interfere with your hormones. And also, if you don't manage this well, most of the time you'll find that you're craving a lot of really refined carbs. So if you feel like you have fewer cravings in a week or two, you have not craved what you usually do, that's a win, because these are signs of real progress and just looking beyond the scale. So practical and actionable things to do, because we need to learn before we actually execute what we're supposed to do. So we're going to look at nutrition swaps, and this is what I usually teach you guys, even if I have a health talk or on my across all my social media practical platforms. I always share some of practical health swap you can do. So instead of refined grains like white rice or bread, because some of us really love that, you can go for whole grains and legumes. And this is what I've really been focusing more on, incorporating whole grains, incorporating legumes to really manage my cravings. Trade sugary drinks for water. That's why I have my water, and as I'm recording for you guys, this is the second bottle I'm finishing. If water is not your cup of tea, you can have a cup of lemon water or herbal teas like green tea, chamomile tea, hibiscus, but you really have to be careful too not to overconsume that. Replace fried snacks with the roasted chickpeas. I've never actually tried chickpeas. I should go look for them and see if they can. Nuts, groundnuts, air fried options. If you don't have an air fried option, steaming food is also a good option. You choosing like combining proteins and complex or healthy fats instead of heavy desserts. What do I mean? Like if you have your yogurt, plain one, or maziwa mala, you can add fruits, you can add groundnuts, flaxseed, chia seeds instead of going for that heavy dessert. And also swap butter or margarine for healthy fats like olive oil, avocado. For me, when it's avocado season, but I love peanut butter, so I usually rely heavily on peanut butter. I really love my margarine, but I'm really also trying to control that. So it's a slow, steady process. That's why it's a swap. You're building one healthy habit at a time, and these are everyday changes that don't feel overwhelming but add up overall. Because if you tell yourself this week, I'm going to swap my margarine for my roasted nuts, I'm going to swap my white bread for matoke or sweet potatoes or nduma, you're going to do that. So you start slowly as you continue replacing until you get to your goal. So another practical and actionable things in your overall lifestyle, um, you can distribute carbs evenly across the day to avoid glucose spikes. If you cannot, reach out to your certified nutritionist or dietitian to help you come up with a meal plan that will be able to do that for you. Take a brisk 10 minutes walk, and that I usually do. That's why I have this. I time myself. I make sure at the end of the day I have achieved my 10,000 steps. So in the morning, lunchtime, evening, I keep on walking to help muscle absorb glucose better. And I feel like when I do this, it helps me sleep better. That means I'm prioritizing my quality of sleep, because poor sleep quality increases insulin resistance. Very, very true. Incorporate strength training twice a week to build muscles and build metabolism. I have weights here, but lifting them, well, but you're going to get back to that. And remember, change work best when it's gradual. One new habit a week is far more sustainable than trying to change everything at once, like I feel like most of the fat diets are doing. So be very, very careful when you're starting that habit swap or the nutrition swap. Just do it one step at a time. If you cannot, reach out to a nutritionist, a dietitian, or a coach to help you do that. And as we wrap up, the key takeaways from this session is nutrition and lifestyle are the first line intervention for managing PCOS and preventing diabetes. Different dietary patterns can work, but they need to be personalized to you and me as a person. Don't look at someone on social media doing this and you go and copy. That is custom made to their own lifestyle, their own body, their own metabolism. So let someone customize it for you, your body, your metabolism, your lifestyle, your financial status, and all that. Benefits like improved insulin sensitivity and menstrual regularity often happen before weight loss. Small swaps and daily habits create lasting impact. I feel like that is one key takeaway you should really grasp at the end of this session. And most importantly, let's empower women by focusing on health beyond the scale. Because if you really focus on the scale, you really lose hope, and losing hope is the worst thing, because you just revert back to those habits that we've talked about and the habits that we want to change. So thank you for joining me today. And remember to catch me more through my diabetic desk on my LinkedIn at Charity Wanyonyi and across my social media platform at Charity Self Heaven, where I talk about diabetes, insulin resistance, insulin sensitivity, and everything in between. So until next time, continue creating awareness around PCOS this month. Make noise about it. Let's be informed so that we can know what to do if a woman comes to you. So until next time, I've been yours. Bye.